Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is April the 27th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good, having a Sunday fun day. Day has treated me well so far. We started off a little bit later. We partied a little hardy, but it was good. We had a good time overall, feeling good. But took it a little slower to start. We went to the grocery store, got all our groceries, which was actually not much. It was a very small amount. Like I got a couple things of salad mix and some trail mix, and I think like a bunch of energy drinks for the week. So it was a weird cart, but hey, we got in, we got out. After the grocery store, we went to the gym. Gym was a lighter lifting day today. I didn't have it in me to do a heavy. Well, I mean, I think I could, but it just we were sore from the past couple days. So I said, hey, let's just not go for the third. Let's just take it down and just have a good session in that way. And overall, definitely worth it. So that was good. Had a good sweat, good pump. After the gym, we came home, and now we're here. We're podcasting. But let's go ahead and get back into yesterday, because yesterday was very busy. Whole lot of food. I'm gonna try to get through and cover for the food corner. But after podcasting, which was a little bit rushed, we went straight to a couple of my friends' baby shower. So that was really cool. It was really fun. Usually, I've only done like a handful of baby showers. So usually I feel like a duck out of water. I usually feel very out of place. But this was a really fun baby shower because it was my two friends. They're a little bit younger than me. So if anything, that worked in my favor because it was just like, okay, this is like a baby shower that felt kind of more on my level. And it was just fun to see people I knew and interact with them and see them. It was a good time, celebration. Um, the food was amazing. I'm just trying to do a quick rundown. I had I believe Cambodian noodles, and then there was like this shrimp rice situation that was also very good. They had a shredded chicken, some kind of beef. I think it might have been beef brisket. I'm not 100% sure though, but we had a couple of pieces of that. Then there was some lumpia, which is like Filipino egg rolls. I mean, maybe not egg rolls, but little wrap things. Those were really good. Then there was some meatballs, like kind of like the Swedish style meatball situation, which was so good, and some baked mac and cheese, which was fire. Then there was a couple of cookies. There was some other things I didn't grab, like there was banana pudding that looked amazing. And me saying a banana pudding looks amazing is rare because I am not into banana pudding. It's not my thing. I like bananas, not a big pudding guy. So to see a banana pudding that's actually tempting is that's saying something alone. But overall, just amazing food. The vibes were great. I will do a quick rundown of a game that I participated in, which I think was my first baby shower game. I gotta say, I did the best I could. I think I came in like second or third place in this game. But essentially, the way the game played out was they set out like they set you got paired with a teammate. Then halfway in between you and your teammate is a line of panties for each person. And then you're supposed to crawl on all fours. And guess who is the person who's doing the crawling here? So you have to crawl on all fours, get to the middle, and then put on the panties. From there, you continue to crawl to your partner who has a bottle full of apple juice. And they're supposed to empty the whole bottle into your mouth. So I was like, oh great, I love a messy game. So I was able to scramble, get to the panties, got them on. Okay, next step we scamper over to the bottle, it immediately gets like juiced in. I was like, oh, whoa, whoa. And I'm really just trying not to get dirty, if I'm being honest. I'm just here for the participation. But I can like feel right next to me this like spray of apple juice on my arm, a little bit on my leg, and I'm like, oh no. So that immediately is like a thing, and I'm like, I get the feeling I'm not winning this challenge because the people to to the right of me are going much harder than I am. But I just keep on sucking. I just keep on doing my damnedest. And we made a valiant effort. We didn't get the goodie bag, but it was a good time. It was fun. So that was like around 2:30 to around like 5-ish, and I was like, okay, this has been a good time. We had a lot of fun, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all, Northside is calling, and I want to see the homies in Northside and really have like the full day if I can get it. So I leave the baby shower, go to Northside, get there like right around the time I usually like to get there, which is great, like right around the evening. So we pull up, and the homie tells me, hey, at this like art exhibit space, they're doing a MF Doom gallery. So I'm like, all right, cool, hell yeah, let's do that. That sounds fun. Sounds like a good time. So we walk up to that, and I want to say like the coolest thing about it was actually on the outside of the gallery. Someone they I guess had someone commission or do something where they put two MF Doom murals up, and it's so sick. Like, so there's one across the building, and then there's another one on the building adjacent to the design collective, where it's also another Doom one. I'm just gonna post pictures instead of trying to describe it. So I mean, if you have me on any of the social medias, you should be able to find it, or if not, you can hit me up. I'll send you the picture of it. It's just very cool. Then we went inside and just checked out the space, and it was just so much cool artists like MF Doom memorabilia. So, I mean, it was just so sick. The vibes were tight. So, that was just a fun way to start off the night. Northside Edition, part two, more or less. That was sick. Then we go to Chameleon. And y'all know I'm on my hungry, hungry hippo shit. This is my cheat day. I'm just gonna be a food maximalist pretty much. And we get our 3 slices of pizza. We get the pepperoni. We got this, the Bianca was this, it had potatoes, it had corn, it had some kind of white sauce yet again on it, and it was pretty good. It was definitely very interesting, but I would say the pizza slice of the night was the veggie. It had like some mushrooms, it had some banana peppers on it. It just hit. It was just very yummy, and I would say that was the slice of the night. Needless to say, for like the rest of the night, I was full. I had too much food in me. We're doing some drinking to kind of balance everything out. But overall, it was just a really nice vibes, just running it down top to bottom. Getting to see 2 of my favorite friend groups in the same day was such a vibe. Like, I just loved that alone. Add in the fact that we had an MF Doom gallery situation. Like, it was just a chef's kiss of a day. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it was worth all the tummy problems I've had this Sunday. It was worth the weight gain. It's all good. And that's another thing I really do like right now about where I'm at with that, just to kind of speak on my weight situation. It's been nice to kind of have these past few, like, couple weeks, maybe I should say, where I'm eating a little bit more on the weekends, and overall keeping at a weight that I like, that I feel good about. Do I love how I look? No, not 100%, but I really like that we are in a space where I feel like I have a lot more control than I've had in the past. So that's just really a nice feeling in and of itself. And yeah, overall, just really good vibes all weekend. So had a really good time, had a really good weekend up until this point. Knock on wood. I hope the rest of this night goes well. Hopefully the rest of this podcast goes well. But yeah, no. Overall, the vibes are tight. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs way up. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into our startup and cover some news. Oh, excuse me. Our first story, we're going to play it out more or less through two parts. The first story comes from CNN. The second is from ABC 7 Eyewitness News. I was about to say February. I don't know why. FBI director posts photo of arrested Wisconsin judge's perp walk, possibly violating DOJ policy. FBI Director Kash Patel posted a photo on X Friday night of the Wisconsin judge who was arrested for allegedly obstructing immigration agents while she was handcuffed, being escorted. I don't know why I couldn't say escorted. Escorted to a vehicle by officials. The photo of a Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan does not show her face, but shows her being escorted by 3 law enforcement agents in a perp walk. The caption by Patel read, "No one is above the law." According to the confidentiality and media contacts policy listed on the Justice Department's website, DOJ personnel should not voluntarily disclose a photograph of a defendant unless it serves a law enforcement function or unless the photograph is already part of public record in the case. Former Attorney General Eric Holner, who implemented the policy during the Obama administration, worked during his tenure to make sure it was more difficult for members of the media to obtain photos of defendants, such as mugshots. Holder told CNN that Patel's social media post violates this policy. Let's see here. It is unclear following Patel's post on X if current Attorney General Pam Bondi has changed the conduct policy for the Justice Department personnel regarding photos of defendants. But let's get to the actual incident at hand, which was covered mostly from the ABC 7 article. Who is Hannah Dugan? Milwaukee judge accused of helping undocumented immigrant evade arrest. Hannah Dugan, the Milwaukee judge accused of helping a man evade immigration authorities, is known for running a strict courtroom while also being a familiar face in the community, particularly at interfaith events. Dugan's arrest while on her way to work at the Milwaukee County Courthouse catapulted her into the national fight between the Trump administration and the judiciary over immigration policies. She appeared briefly in federal court later Friday before being released. Let's go ahead and actually, let's read this part. We'll read most of this. FBI Director Kash Patel announced the move via social media, saying Dugan increased danger to the public. The judge allegedly let Eduardo Flores Ruiz and his lawyer leave her courtroom through a jury door on April 18th to help avert his arrest, according to an FBI affidavit. Flores Ruiz was taken into custody outside the courthouse after agents chased him on foot. Flores Ruiz, a native of Mexico, was in court for a hearing after being charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor domestic battery. Let's see. They go through Dugan's, just kind of a little bit of her career history as a judge and whatnot. Overall, solid, cool, but we just want to kind of skip through that. Let's see here. They also describe her as tough but fair, just in terms of like her demeanor as a judge. Let's see. I want to just kind of scroll to the main bits. The FBI. Oh, that's not still where I want. Where is it? We'll start there. The FBI took Dugan into custody on courthouse grounds, the same building that federal immigration agents entered last week in search of Flores Ruiz. Ruiz was removed from the U.S. through Arizona over a decade ago, and there is no evidence he got permission to return, according to the affidavit. A fingerprint match prompted U.S. immigration and customs enforcement officers to go to the courthouse and wait outside the courtroom during his appearance. After learning the agents were there, Dugan became visibly angry, according to the affidavit. She and another judge approached them in a hallway and sent them to the chief judge's office. Dugan then returned to her courtroom and ushered Flores Ruiz and his attorney through the jury door, according to the affidavit. Defendants who are not in custody and their attorneys never use that door, the affidavit says. That allegedly helped Flores Ruiz leave the building using an elevator. So that is like the big crux, the big situation where it's like she did something that was wrong, where it's like, hey, ICE came looking for this person. They're like, you need to just hand him over to us. But it seems that Dugan was like, that's not what I'm going to do. Now, I think her defense was like, hey, we just put him in another room. Maybe that's not traditional, but we just didn't want you to take him because it's not the due process at hand. He's supposed to go through this process with me. You're not supposed to be interrupting this process at all. I feel like that is more or less the defense from Dugan, even though I don't think she's actually put up a statement, but I think that's maybe what's going to be launched. That being said, what the other side are saying is like, no, you aided and abetted him and you let him get away, or you at least tried to facilitate that, and we stopped it. So that's why we are coming for you, because what you did was illegal. And it doesn't matter whether or not you're a judge, like, you can't do this. So hence the perp walk, hence the whole situation. I mean, this is me putting my speculation hat on in terms of just the little bit I've heard. I don't think that she's actually going to, like, wind up dealing with any kind of jail time or anything serious like that. It might just boil down to a reprimand. But that being said, you are sending a message as the Trump administration saying, hey, there's no way, shape, or form that you're going to fight us on this way. No way, no how. We will put the hammer down on you for doing that. Now, in terms of like, what did Dugan do I think it was like legally correct or right? Maybe not. Maybe that, there is something, scrupulous here or so. I don't know. We'll see. We'll let things play out. I would say morally though, she did the fucking right thing. I think you see a situation here and you're like, there's nothing right. There's nothing okay about what you were trying to do here. You were taking advantage of someone's, situation, no matter what brought them here. And you're saying, oh, we're going to exploit this. So once again, just take someone and yank them out of this whole process and just detain them and then ship them out. That's what we want to do. That is our goal. That supersedes any and all law. So fuck it. Give them to us. And essentially Dugan was like, no, that's not on the level. Like, sure, he's supposed to be here for a domestic violence situation. Okay, that's what he's going to be here for today. You're not going to come here and ambush him like that. Sorry, I had something in my mouth. So I'm on Dugan's side on this, but we'll see how things play out. Once again, I don't know if it's even going to be that severe for her, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. But let's move on to some sad stories from ABC News. At least 11 killed, dozens injured as driver plows into crowd, Vancouver police say. At least 11 people were killed and dozens injured Saturday as a vehicle plowed into a large crowd at a street festival in Vancouver, officials said, describing it as a mass casualty incident. A 30-year-old suspect, a Vancouver man, was arrested at the scene, the Vancouver Police Department said in a social media post, later adding, at this time, we are confident that this incident was not an act of terrorism. The suspect is believed to have acted alone, and there is currently no active threat to Canadians, Prime Minister Mark Carney said while delivering short remarks in Hamilton, Ontario on Sunday. The suspect had a history of infractions with police and health professionals for mental health reasons, Vancouver Police Interim Chief Constable Steve Rye told reporters Sunday. Crowds had gathered in the Canadian city to celebrate Lapu Lapu Day, Mayor Ken Sim said in a statement. A vehicle drove into a large crowd of people at the festival in the South Vancouver neighborhood at about 8:14 p.m., police said. Let's see. The block party celebrating Filipino culture and Lapu Lapu, a national hero of the Philippines, had been scheduled to run through 8 p.m. on Saturday, according to the organizers. Videos from the scene, which were verified by ABC News, appear to show the aftermath of the incident, which happened on a stretch of East 4th Street, or E4 Street, East 43rd Avenue, that had been lined on both sides with food trucks. The videos appear to show first responders rushing to help the injured between the rows of food trucks. A black SUV can be seen in one video with what appears to be heavy damage to its hood. Police have not publicly identified the suspect's vehicle. So yeah, I mean, obviously a very sad thing to unfold here. It's very senseless. And also it's not in this situation. Yeah, there isn't a gun involved, and it's one of those situations where someone's gonna literally just use their vehicle as a weapon to do something. Um, you know, it's never fun to cover stories like this. But sometimes we just got to do it. But yeah, obviously condolences to the families, everyone involved in that situation. Let's move on to another story, also sad, from WBTW News or WBTW 13 News. I don't know, whatever. 18-year-old Bennettsville man identified as suspect in deadly Myrtle Beach uh, officer involved shooting. I hate that sentence. It's so mouthy. The Myrtle Beach officer involved in a deadly Saturday night shooting along North Ocean Boulevard following a large altercation acted appropriately. Mayor Brenda Bethune told News 13. That's how I pronounce it. My bad. Horry County Deputy Coroner Tamara Willard on Sunday identified the person shot as 18-year-old Jirius Davis of Bennettsville. Our officer saw what happened, and when he saw that an altercation was taking place and a gun was being shot, the officer responded very quickly and, in my opinion, saved lives, she said. Last night could have been so much worse. 11 people were hurt and one person was shot and killed in what authorities called a disturbance. Neither the officer's name nor the person who was shot were immediately identified. It happened just before midnight on the 900 block of North Ocean Boulevard, after officers noticed a disturbance involving multiple people. Video obtained by News 13 on Sunday shows people scattering and police rushing to the scene. The city's police department said on Facebook it would launch an internal review, and the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division is also investigating, which is a standard procedure in any officer-involved shooting. Bethune said once SLED finishes its report, city leaders will release it to the public. Unfortunately, with social media, there's going to be a lot of comments being said that are not true and people trying to make more out of this. And we want to get the facts out so people know what has happened, Bethune said. Let's see. Police said that during the altercation, someone fired a weapon, leading to the officer responding with his own. The individual shot during officer response has passed away as a result of their injuries, police said on Facebook. The incident, which happened in the middle of the city's famed entertainment district, comes just as peak tourism season is beginning. There's more, kind of exposition statements from people. I would say like the overall takeaway that I would say is really bummer is that this is kind of this become this like an average American take of like, yeah, you kind of just have to be used to this. Like it has just become a common thing, and you don't want to let stories like this, situations like this, and this is from people who've now had to live through it, where it's like, hey, I don't want this to stop me from coming out, so I'm going to keep coming out. And I do believe that is the thing you got to do. I don't think you should let the increased gun violence, really, keep you inside, keep you from living, a full life and stuff like that. I think it can become a paralyzing thing, especially if you have anxiety and things of that nature. I mean, even if you fucking don't, I think it's just one of those things where it can just feel like scarier fucking times, right? But that being said, it's kind of an ongoing motif that we talk about when these things come up, that it just sucks that you have to be used to that. And good and damn well that the government, your local politicians, your up to your state and beyond, are not going to do anything about this really. They're going to send their well wishes to you and say we're going to do the best we can, or blame it on whatever the fuck else, and then they're going to move the fuck on. So, that's unfortunate, and you have more of a defense of the police officers. It's like, hey, no matter what, just know that they did the best they could. They did the right thing. And it's like, okay, I mean, look, I'm not even coming from them on this one, but it's like, you just see that that's more of a fucking focus than anything else, that matters more than like saying, hey, let's make sure that this doesn't happen again, or even hell, as much as it does happen in this country. You know what I'm saying? But it just is what it is, what can you do? At least that's where I'm at as a person, as a podcaster who covers news like this all the time, is I'm gonna leave my 2 cents and kind of just keep it moving, But I always feel like it's relevant to cover these stories no matter what, however they unfold. And yeah, we'll leave that there and we'll move on to our next story. This was one that got sent to me from a homie. I really actually appreciate whenever you guys send me news stories that you think might be interesting to me, that whether you just either want to talk about it in the moment or you want me to cover on here. I really appreciate that a lot. So, once I got this and I really got my teeth into it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. And it also plays into a little bit of the Santos shit that I was talking about, why I felt almost a little weird about it, especially just with him specifically, with politics and all that. But we'll get into it when we get there. Actually, let me take a little quick water break. I'm a bit parched, but this story comes from the Associated Press. All right. Trump pardons Nevada politician who paid for cosmetic surgery with funds to honor a slain officer. President Donald Trump has pardoned a Nevada Republican politician who is awaiting sentencing on federal charges that she used money meant for a statue honoring a slain police officer for personal costs, including plastic surgery. Michelle Fiore, a former Las Vegas city councilwoman and state lawmaker who ran unsuccessfully in 2022 for state treasurer, was found guilty in October of 6 counts of federal wire fraud and one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. She was out of custody ahead of her sentencing, which had been scheduled for next month. In a lengthy statement Thursday on Facebook, the loyal Trump supporter expressed gratitude to the president while also accusing the U.S. government and select media outlets of a broad, decade-long conspiracy to target and dismantle her life. The White House confirmed Fiore had been pardoned but did not comment on the president's decision. This pardon, issued Wednesday, comes less than a week after Fiore lost a bid for a new trial. She had been facing the possibility of decades in prison. Federal prosecutors said at a trial that Fiore, 54, had raised more than $70,000 for the statue of a Las Vegas police officer who was fatally shot in 2014 in the line of duty, but had instead spent some of it on cosmetic surgery, rent, and her daughter's wedding. How sweet. Michelle Fiore used a tragedy to line her pockets, federal prosecutor Dahoud Ashkar said. FBI agents in 2021 subpoenaed records and searched Fiore's home in Las Vegas in connection with her campaign spending. In a statement, Nevada Democratic Party Executive Director Hillary Barrett, we're going to say Barrett, called the pardon reckless and a slap in the face to law enforcement officers. Fiore, and this is also my favorite part, or in other words, we're going to start bringing the correlations to Santos here. Fiore, who does not have a law degree, was appointed as a judge in deep red Nye County in 2022, shortly after she lost her campaign for state treasurer. So it's like, this is a person who's not qualified at all to be in her next position, but because of her loyalties to the right fucking people, she gets to just catapult herself into a new position and essentially just continue her fucking grift. She was elected last June to complete the unexpired term of a judge who died, but had been suspended without pay amid her legal troubles. Pahrump, I think it's Pahrump, is an hour's drive west of Las Vegas. In her statement Thursday, Fiore also said she plans to return to the bench next week. Nye County said it is awaiting an update on Fiore's current suspension from the State Commission on Judicial Discipline, which told the Associated Press in an email that it was aware that Fiore had been pardoned, but that it didn't have further comment on her situation. So we'll see if he gets her job back here. But it's one of those, this is a situation where you see, damn, it doesn't matter what the fucking law is. It just matters who you know. And the fact that she's been licking the boot of the Trump administration, Trump himself, her glazing gave her a get out of jail free card that she just got to cash in, and now she's out of jail. But meanwhile, you have, what is it, George Santos, another Republican who, his shit was just maybe too high profile. Maybe he just didn't get to actually grease the wheels, suit enough better or, correctly enough, whatever. And, he's actually a casualty of the system. They actually get him right and proper, right? He's going to have to do his 7 and change. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not rooting for, once again, Santos to get out of jail. I would like to see someone like Fiore go to jail the way that she should. I don't understand what's the fucking purpose of giving a pardon like this. It also, once again, kind of goes to show how feeble the fucking logic is from the Trump administration to bash any of the Biden pardons, whether you fuck with them or you don't fuck with them. But then to go and do this, it's just so fucking hypocritical. But is it surprising? Of course not. Of course it's fucking not. It's not crazy that a person did this, but it's also so wild that, like, wouldn't you think that, like, making sure that you back the blue, the motherfuckers who are protecting and serving, all that rah bullshit that this, like, conservatives always tout that they are champions of. She was literally doing the grift, siphoning money from this guy's fucking statue. And it's like, once again, they don't care about the cops. They don't care about anybody. They care about them fucking selves. That is all these politicians give a damn about at the end of the day. So I really hope that people see shit like this and, like, are reminded that, once again, it doesn't matter what side we're talking about here. These motherfuckers are all grifters. I think you see conservatives, you see Republicans, especially right now, really taking advantage. But, that's both sides of the aisle. I never want to fucking paint a picture that it's not. But here we are. I saw this story, or once I heard this story from my homie, I was like, yeah, I do want to cover this. What a girl boss move. What a girl Max move, dude. So yeah, she really did it. She's really doing her thing. Maybe she even gets back into the bench, back on the bench, man. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted if I hear anything more though. Anyway, we have one more story. It's a bit of almost a flashback joint, if you will. We're going to take it back to last week and talk about an Easter situation that came up. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and we'll close it out. Now, I can't even lie to y'all. This would be an Easter egg hunt of my life. I would love this. I would love a situation like this. I just got to preface that right here and now. Story comes from Local 12. Man allegedly hid marijuana and Easter eggs across the city. Posted clues to social media. Police said they were searching for a man who allegedly hid plastic Easter eggs across his city containing marijuana, then posted clues on how to find them to social media. Excuse me. According to a press release from the Lufkin Police Department, officers received a tip about a Facebook account that was posting about plastic eggs full of marijuana hidden in various parks around the city as part of a scavenger hunt. The suspect posted 4 photos on Facebook showing each location as hints to locate the eggs, the release said. He also posted a photo of 5 plastic eggs in the seat of a vehicle. Officers found 4 eggs and believed he had not placed the 5th. Officers learned they were incorrect in their assumption when a man and his granddaughter turned the final egg into the department the next day, having also found it in a park per the release. In total, officers said they recovered over a 1/4 ounce of marijuana. So, I mean, it's a fun size thing of weed, and it winds up to about a 1/4 ounce, which honestly is not much, but I can definitely understand where we have a problem here, Houston, where it's like, hey, it's a grandma or a man and his granddaughter. So grandpa, little granddaughter, are coming in and it's like, hey, we were just hanging out and we saw this little Easter egg and we thought, oh, and then you open it up, oh boy, that's not what we want to see. Obviously, that's not good. I'm not condoning this in that regard. I'm not saying, hey, you should throw an Easter egg hunt and make it weed. That would be fun, but maybe not a good idea unless you're doing this in like a closed, you know, corralled situation where you can control all the variables, right? You know what I mean? Make it safe, make it good, make it on the level. You can do that. Um, that being said, it's like, okay, so we're now officially putting in some fucking, you know, police time. We're putting in some government taxpayer dollars into making sure that we find this culprit. Investigators identified Avante Nicholson as a suspect behind the scavenger hunt by combing through his Facebook account, the release said. They also found statements referencing selling narcotics on multiple occasions, and in the post, he states whoever shopped with him the day of the scavenger hunt would get hints to the locations of the eggs, the department wrote in the release. So, I mean, that's kind of bar. That's kind of cool. It's giving Wonka. I do love the ingenuity here. Hey, man, they say it's dead, but hey, motherfuckers like this guy are bringing it back. But no, is this the best idea? No, you shouldn't just throw a bunch of weed eggs, across your neighborhood or through your city and say, hey, we're going to do a citywide Easter egg hunt. No, that's not smart. That's not safe. That's bad for you. It's bad for the brand. Let's not do that, y'all. That's not a good idea. But do I think this is fun? Do I think you could do this in like a very small batch situation? You know, maybe with some friends and stuff like that. You know, at your home. That'd be cool. That'd be cute. But obviously be careful. Be level-headed. Be an adult about this fucking shit. But I do think this is more of an oddity, offbeat story. It's a bit of a little joke. It's a bit of a laugh. Obviously glad that, no kid, it seems, was, fucked up or anything by this shit or whatever. But yeah, I wanted to close out with the story. A bit of a hee hee ha ha for me. And that'll be it. I don't like to shill on Sundays, so thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.